So we're going to talk about the 9 fundamentals that you guys need to master to really build a 6 or 7 figure real estate investment business. And if you've got some stuff to write with, I would go ahead and take notes. And so why does this matter? Building a profitable real estate business requires strategy and focus. These fundamentals will help you scale to 6 or 7 figures. One thing that I like about being here in the DMV, and most of us on here are in the DMV, one thing I like about it is like everything that you want to do in real estate is right here. And I'll go over them as but if you want to get into short-term rentals, it's a great area for that. Mid-term rentals, great area for that. Lots of hospitals, great hospitals and schools. Great for wholesaling. Wholesalers call me every day. Buying and holding, different price ranges. If you go all the way up to Baltimore, it's the #1 residential rental area in the United States. Great equity and appreciation, especially kind of closer here to where I am in DC. And so it's just a great area to be a real estate investor. And so the mere fact that you guys are on here on this webinar tells me that you understand that and you want to learn more and take advantage. The last slide on here, you guys, talks about taking action. And so I'm going to go over the fundamentals. None of them matter unless you take action. And then really focus on all the right things. And so fundamental number 1, develop a clear vision and goal. Define your goals, define your lifestyle and objectives, like whatever your goals are. And it could be to own 10 doors or 10 rental properties, or to flip 2 or 3 properties a year and make 100, 200,000. Or it could be lifestyle goals. One of my lifestyle goals now is to take a vacation every month, or at least a getaway every month. And I've been doing that for a number of months now. I don't know if it's been quite a year yet, but close. And so, but real estate has have put me in a position where I can afford that type of lifestyle. But not only that, real estate for me is not hands-on every single day, where I can still run my business even if I'm out of town. So whatever type of lifestyle that you want, real estate will get you there. Whatever goals you have, the number of doors, some of you guys want like maybe 1,000 doors or 500 doors, or even 100 doors, whatever that looks like. Real estate will get you there. And then also, I want you to like think of the lifestyle that you want to live. Like what's the lifestyle that you want to live? Whatever it is, real estate can get you there. I've said this a number of times. I've got one daughter, and real estate was able to allow me to get her through college, so that she was able to get through college with no student loans. And it was wholesaling real estate. And so whatever your clear goals are, but you've got to have a goal and you've got to write them down. And we talk about goals all the time, and I won't spend much time with it. But I think that that's where a lot of people fail. They think about their goals, they don't truly write them down. And they don't think about them on a daily basis. Because if you do, those goals will motivate you on a daily basis. They motivate me on a daily basis. So develop a clear vision and your goals. Build a solid education foundation. I was on some webinars actually today and yesterday, learning some new things. And so we always have to be learning. Learning about market trends, really learning about how to scale our business the best way. If you're wholesaling, learning how to wholesale better. So whatever it is, you always want to be learning. You guys are learning now. You're on this webinar. And so whatever it is, always learning. I want to learn personally I've always wanted to build a fund. And so I'm learning now, I've been in this training all week this week on building a real estate fund so that I don't have to go to a hard money lender. I have my own fund. And through the fund, I can be my own hard money lender. And so I've been studying about that. I'm thinking about joining this one group, and all they do is just a group of fund managers. And so I'm learning. And likewise, I want you guys to continue to learn and then take action. Learn and take action. If you're taking notes, I want you to write down learn, because I see a lot of you guys learning, but I don't always see a lot of action. And so I want you guys to learn what you're doing and then take action. But at the same time, a lot of you guys are taking action, doing a great job. All right, focus on a niche. What's your niche? Who are you? What role do you want to play in real estate? And how can, through choosing the right niche, how can that service your life? Is it wholesaling, fixing and flipping, buying and holding, being a private lender? Some of you guys may not want to deal with the toilets, tenants, and termites. You might want to be a private lender. And so there's nothing wrong with that. 10%, 12% on your money. And so hardly anywhere else you're going to get a double-digit return on your money than being a private lender. Like, I clearly understand why people would want to be a private lender, why companies set themselves up as hard money lenders. I clearly understand. When you do the math, it's like, okay, they're getting their guaranteed chunk. Most of you guys are wholesalers. Most of you guys are wholesalers, which is great. But by being a wholesaler, your focus is on finding deals. Your sole focus is on finding deals. Nothing wrong with learning everything else that goes along with this industry, but your sole focus is on a daily basis finding deals. Now, I'll speak about this later, but some of the wholesalers are spending too much time on like one niche in terms of marketing. I want you to have a marketing mix. We spend a lot of time here in our group, and I'll speak about this in a minute, on finding on-market deals, where we need to have a mix. We should be, as a wholesaler, you should be, you can do on-market, but then off-market too. You have to have a mix. Calling, postcards, auction properties, that kind of thing. Because the fix and flippers and the buy and hold investors, they're not out finding properties. They're more focused on managing contractors, managing tenants, that kind of thing. And that's the role that you play in the industry as wholesalers. You're bringing motivated sellers together with cash buyers. That's the role of a wholesaler. And then also, as a wholesaler, you've got to learn the contracts. So when a deal comes available, you know how to write the contract. And then also, as a wholesaler, you got to know the math. And I'll go over the math in a minute. Fix and flippers, most of you guys, my preference would be for you guys to partner with someone that has experience. Almost on a daily basis, I see a fix and flip that fails, almost on a daily basis, for one reason or another. And so I would want you guys to partner with someone that has experience. Wholesaling real estate and fixing and flipping real estate are the cash building strategies. We invest in real estate, wholesaling and flipping for cash. It's a short-term investment. We're doing it all for cash. It's what's called active income. Wholesale a property or flip a property one time, that deal goes away. I would want you to take the buy for cash strategy, and then ultimately, I want you guys to to buy and hold real estate, whether it's short-term rental, long-term rental, midterm rental, whatever it is. That's where you end up building your wealth, because buying and holding is the gift that keeps on giving. You're making positive cash flow every single month, and then every single month, the property values every single month, every single week, every single year, the property values go up. And then after some time, you look up, it's like, man, he just ran some comps and found out about the neighbor's house across the street selling. And you say, man, I got $100,000 in equity in my property. And you're still making money every single month. Buying and holding is passive income. We want to bring as much passive income into our lives. And we do that with our buy and hold strategy. We're buying for cash flow, equity, and appreciation. Whatever your initial strategy is, I want you to always end up landing on buying and holding. When I think about my career, and it's kind of the wealth that I've built over the years, it was just at the moment, just buying a property and renting it out and just worried about tenants and fixing it up and the 3 T's, toilet, termites, and tenants. But then you look up and it's like, wow, I got some equity in these properties. And that's going to help you with what? That's going to help you with building generational wealth, retiring financially free, leaving a legacy for your children, your children's children. That's what buying and holding does for you. And so with buying and holding, I want you to focus on 2 things. I want you to focus on your credit, and I want you to focus on saving money. So the money that you're making wholesaling, and some of you guys are flipping properties, I want you to save some of that money to then buy and hold. One thing, most of you guys know who Marquise is. One thing that Marquise does, or at least used to do, he's kind of settled now, is for every 2 properties that he would wholesale, he would take that money and then buy and hold. So pick your niche, you guys. Pick your niche. And again, most of you guys are wholesalers. And focus on the niche. Don't deviate from the list. Focus, from the niche wholesaling. I see some of you guys as wholesalers, but when I hear conversation is about a whole bunch of other stuff. Focus on wholesaling if you're a wholesaler, and focus on finding deals. All right, building a strong network. I can't tell you how important this is as a fundamental. I think it's hard building a real estate investment business without people that can help. You can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. If you want to build a 6 or 7 figure real estate investment business, you've got a network. We're networking with other investors. We're networking with agents, lenders, contractors, family members, friends, people who you go to church with. Everybody needs to know that this is what you do. Because if not, it's going to be a daily struggle. You've got to fight every day to get leads. Whereas if you build a strong network, you've got people sending you leads. So you want to leverage your relationships and your partnerships. You want to come to meetings like this, but then you also want to go to meetups, RIA meetings, conferences, things like that. I said that I wanted to build a a fund, so that I could finance deals here in the DMV and lend money. I said to myself today, there's a meeting in Utah. I think it's Utah. Is Salt Lake City, Utah? I don't even know. Or is it California?
Utah.
That was a joke, by the way. Um, like I got to go to Utah because that's where the people are, and I've got to rub shoulders with them. Like I've got to network with them because that's where this conference is. And so sometimes you guys, I mean, there's lots of things locally, but you've got to do that and see what other people are doing, getting ideas, especially if you're a wholesaler, getting ideas from other wholesalers, if you're fixing and flipping, buying and holding, whatever it is, you want to network with other people. All right, lead gen. Lead gen. This is the most important, in my opinion, and I always talk about it. But lead generation. I want you guys to have a mix. Most of us are focused on one thing, whatever that one thing is. For most of you guys, it's actually on market deals, like getting deals out of the MLS. And some of you guys are doing a great job. But I want you guys to have a mix of marketing channels. Got a conversation with one of my coaching students this morning, and there was a little frustration. Like I'm putting in these offers and I'm not getting any, that kind of thing. And what I told our coaching student is, number one, you need to have a mix. I don't want you just relying on one marketing channel. And then stay consistent. One thing that I see that some people are doing, some investors, primarily wholesalers, there's no consistency. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be on it every day. Every day you've got to be on it. Whether it's making calls, whether it's posting on social media, looking up auction properties, networking with people. I can't tell you how many calls I get a day with just from fix and flippers saying, Greg, you got anything? You got anything? I got 2 today. Do you have anything? And so you've got to have a mix. You've got to have a good mixture. You've got to network with, like I said in the previous slide, real estate agents and other investors, wholesalers, to get deals. But then you've also got to, do the other things, but not just one thing. And then stay consistent and don't give up. Because I do see some inconsistency. I'll see, wow, they're really putting in a lot of offers. They're really, calling me, asking me questions about certain things, and then I don't see anything. So you got to stay consistent. Any questions here, you guys, on staying consistent or the different marketing channels? Any questions? All right. Understanding the numbers. You've got to understand the numbers. And most of you guys know the numbers. And so I will just say that we've got to go by the Mayo formula. You've got to stand by it. Mayo is maximum allowable offer. This is the math I do every single day. Every single day. A lot of you guys are calling me saying, Greg, does this deal work or not? And I just do the numbers. You guys should know the numbers by now. For a cash buyer, 70% of the after repair value minus repair costs. For a wholesaler, 65% of the after repair value minus repair costs. The challenge is getting the after repair value, because I will tell you a shortcut to the formula is if you can get the after repair value, then you just divide it in half and your offer should be close to that number. Your offer should be close to that number. If ARV is 500,000, after repair value is 500,000. Well, let's take an easy one. If after repair value is 300,000, then your offer should be somewhere close to 150,000. But let's just do the math to see. So let's say we've got an after repair value of 300,000. We're going to multiply that by 70%, running the formula. That's 210,000. Now we're going to subtract by the repair cost. Let's just say for this example, repair cost is 60,000. 210,000 minus 60,000 is 150,000, or 50% of the after repair value. And so I want you guys to focus on the numbers, because a lot of the offers that you guys are putting in, and we're putting in a lot of offers, we're not close. We're not close to what Mayo is. We're not close to our numbers. And so there's shortcuts to the number. Reverse engineering that, if a property is offered, let's say you're doing an on-market deal and it's offered at 150,000. You're selling the property for 150,000. Then that tells me that the after repair value has to be somewhere around 300,000. It's the same math, but in reverse. If you see an MLS listing and the listing has been on the market for over 30 days and it's 150,000, you've got to say to yourself, is the ARV 300,000? Or you can do the math. You can go find the after repair value and then do the math. But your number's got to be close to that 300,000 when you're doing it that way. All right, you guys, write this down. Best ways, and I want you guys to help me. Best ways to find after repair value. Best ways to find after repair value. I'm going to write down. You guys help me. Go ahead and blurt it out or put it in the chat. So obviously, the MLS is the best way. The MLS is the best way to get after repair value. You can get it through the MLS. You can also get it through Redfin. You can get it through PropStream. You guys have PropStream. You can also get it through PropWire, which is free, and Zillow. I'll just take 5. Now, if you're gonna use Zillow, you're gonna take the higher end of the Zestimate. On Zillow, the after repair value is not the Zestimate. It's not the Zestimate. The Zestimate is the median between the lowest end comp and the highest end comp. On
Can you
Zillow,
those
it's
5 real quick?
Say that again.
Your top 5 for ARV.
Is MLS, is Redfin, and then you guys, if you guys have some because there's more that I'm not thinking about. There's PropStream, PropWire, and Zillow. There's did anybody put anything in the chat? Oh, there's some that I'm not thinking of. Did I miss any, you guys, to find the ARV? And then again, you guys, the ARV is the after repair value, Privy. Yep. Yep. You can use Privy as well. Privy is the MLS. So those Deal Machine, but those of you guys who are not real estate agents, Privy is the MLS if you want to get Privy. So that's a good one, Luis. and Michael. So there's ways to get the ARV. And just as a refresher, your ARV is the after repair value. Once the property is renovated, what will it sell for? But it's got to be, the comps that you use have to be like kind properties, meaning they've got to be detached to detached. If it's attached or townhouse, then we're comparing it to attached or townhouse. Geographical location, zip code, and then if we can narrow it down to subdivision, that's even better. And then the part that most people miss when you're running your comps for your asset repair value is the square footage. Make sure you add square footage. That's one mistake that I see a lot of people making, is not adding the square footage. Along when you're putting in your filters, you've got to add the square footage to get the right numbers. Because if you get the wrong numbers, and generally speaking, the wrong numbers are generally high or too high, that's going to throw off your numbers and your offers are going to be too high. And we've had a number of properties that recently, in that last week, actually, that we were able to get ratified, but the numbers were off. And it was
Hey, Greg.
primarily square footage.
Hey, Greg,
Go ahead, Luis.
quick question. When you're looking for ARV, considering all those other things that you mentioned, how much weight do you put on age of house? Like if I have an 19 house built in 1950, and I'm looking for ARV on it, when I'm comparing other houses, how close do I want it to be to that year of my house that I'm trying to get an ARV on?
That's a good question. I never, to be honest, I never look at age. I never look at age. And here's why. I don't look at age because the ARV, the after repair value, is generally houses that have been completely renovated. They're brand new houses. So whether they could be 50 years old, but someone just spent $150,000 to renovate, it's a brand new house. So to answer your question, when I pull my comps, I don't look at age at all. The biggest thing that I look at, to be honest with you, is the square footage. I want it to be not necessarily the same square footage. Sometimes I'll go about 100 square feet above. So for example, if a property is 1,700 square feet, I'll go 1,800 square feet as a filter and put a minus sign. So everything 1,800 square feet or below. I don't go 19, 20, because now you're talking, 200 square feet is a whole nother room. So that's not a like-kind property. So I might go like 100 square feet higher and below. So square footage is big. And then of course the area. So an area like, for example, Capitol Heights. Capitol Heights has, 10 different subdivisions in Capitol Heights. And some of the subdivisions sell differently than others. So you can't run comps just on Capitol Heights. You've got to run on subdivision. And then if there's not enough comps in a subdivision, then you do a radius search around the property. So in some areas, you just have to be careful. You can't say, for Capitol Heights, and if your property is in Capitol Heights, anything in Capitol Heights, similar square footage, everything similar is the same comp. It's not, because different areas sell for different amounts. Honestly, that goes for like Petworth in DC. There's different areas of Petworth so you want to get as close to that property as possible. All right, any other questions about Mayo, finding the after repair value? We generally speaking, if you can't find the repair costs, generally speaking, we've been using 20% of the after repair value for our repair costs. And to be honest with you, it shouldn't be as accurate as it is. It's very, very accurate. It's, I mean, every now and then we'll find a property that needs just a little more, a little less, but on average, we use 20%. And we're almost like right there, almost all the time. All right. Any other questions here?
When you run ARV and you run your comps, do you take the highest number that you see, or do you get an average of everything you see on Redfin and Zillow?
No, you can never take the average because that's equivalent to the Zestimate. But I don't take the highest, I'll take the second highest.
Second highest.
Yeah, I always take the second highest. I never take the first highest because the first highest sometimes is sort of a one-off, or they may have over renovated. I'm starting to see a lot of properties now where the investor over renovated, but was able to get a higher price for it, which is good, but it's probably not the same level of renovation that I'm going to do. So if I see something with a whole bunch of bells and whistles, and they got a higher amount, I'm taking the second highest. I'm looking at a renovation that I probably would do. Hopefully that makes sense. Or if you want to match that other renovation, you can. It's going to come at a higher repair cost, but you can match that one also. I got a buddy of mine that's what he does. He'll go in a subdivision and try to renovate to the point where he's always the highest comp in the area, in that area. All right, securing financing. There's a number of financing options that you can use. A lot of you guys are using hard money. Here's one thing that I want to mention. I think it's great to use hard money. I think it's great to use private money. And then a lot of you guys, a lot of us are using traditional financing too. I think throughout your journey as being a real estate investor, as your journey goes on, I want you to really focus on getting money as cheap as possible. Business lines of credit. There's a number of different ways, lines of credit. There's a number of ways to get your money cheaper as you move on. That's why I'm trying to build a fund to get it even cheaper. I've had everything. I've done everything. Lines of credit, all that. And lines of credit are the best because the interest rates are much, much lower, and it's a long-term investment. We do also have creative financing strategies. And so we can use subject to, where we take over the mortgage of the homeowner. We can use seller financing, where we ask the seller to be the bank. Novations, where we ask the seller to basically partner with us and hold their financing on the property and then renovate the property. So there's a number of ways that we can finance deals, but throughout your journey, once you have past performance, keep your credit straight, I want you to focus on getting cheaper financing. Because now, if let's just say a lender, let's say you're getting a loan and you're all in at that 300,000. You're all in, acquisition and rehab is 300,000. And the lender is charging 10%. That's on the low end. Your lender is taking $30,000. Not taking, they're lending it, but they're making $30,000. So they're a partner in the deal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a means to an end. Now, if you've got cheaper financing in that same scenario, and it's a line of credit, for example, and line of credit now maybe 7%. I don't know. 7%, but it's annualized. It's an annualized 7%. Now you're probably paying about, and you keep the loan for 6 months. Now you're paying about 3.5%. So now in that 300,000, it's about $10,000 that you're paying as opposed to the 10. I mean, as opposed to the 30,000. You guys want me to repeat that? That was kind of chunky. That was a little chunky. Did you get that, Alex?
Yeah, understood the point.
The point is, lines of credit, things like that, is just cheaper. And we want to be as efficient as possible. The cheaper the money, the better the deal. Sometimes we've got to back out of a deal because the numbers don't work, because we've got to pay the lender a certain amount. Whereas if we were using a line of credit, okay, now I've got to pay like half of what I would have paid this other lender. Now this deal works for me. You guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Greg,
Yes.
when you mention, and you've mentioned it before, business line of credit, are you speaking specifically to those who do have businesses?
No, on the business line of credit. So number one, I want you guys to run your real estate investment business out of an LLC. And then with most banks, and they're primarily community banks, they just simply want to see 2 years tax returns. So you could have your wholesale business going on out of your LLC. They just want to see that you filed 2 years under that LLC that you're either flipping out of or wholesaling out of or buying and holding out of. They just want to see that you filed taxes. That's the main criteria. But when you do that, there's a bank, there's a couple of banks that, depending on, and then I don't even think they're looking at, well, they are looking at past performance. But if you can get those 2 years, and you may not have them now, but you could have them in 2 years. And so you work towards that. But there's some banks now that will give you $500,000, $500,000 to start with just filing the tax returns.
Hmm.
And they're not basing it on the merits of you. They're basing it on the merits of your credit, your past performance, and your tax returns. $500,000 right now. Bam. Now, $500,000 sounds like a lot of money in what we do, but the reality is really not. It's probably maybe 2 deals. But you start there. You start there. You borrow the money, you spend it wisely, you pay them back, and then the next year you say, okay, I want $1 million now. Now you've got a track record with them. You've got to open up an account with them and that kind of thing. But the next year you ask for $1 million. And then a year after that, you ask for $5 million. Now, with $5 million, you can do some things. And all you really did was play the game. You took your time and you played the game.
And Greg, to your point, I've heard it, if I may, I've heard it heavily. Matter of fact, I was there in the lobby the other day, the local banks, and I'm not putting a plug out, but I was amazed at how Fulton Bank was really trying to get people's attention about money, about lending, even Rosedale. So something about these local guys, they're seeing these deals and they want in too, and they're local. They're mom and pops.
More local banks, community banks I got a line of credit before the pandemic, and they came to my office. Like they were trying to get to know me. I
Yeah,
was like, dude,
yeah.
I ain't trying to be your friend.
They
But then I
want
thought about it, like I am trying to be your friend. I need some money.
to need some money, exactly.
But they try to get to know you, and they want to be part of the community.
So I have
Right.
a question.
Go ahead.
So I just befriended a young lady, and she turns out to be a lender. And I've never been through the process. I've always been a stay-at-home wife. So I really don't know the process of borrowing money. But she is intent on helping me. And I don't want to seem like a dummy. So what I told her is that I want to purchase a 4-unit building. And I want to be prepared. Like, I don't want to seem like I don't know anything. So I want to know how do I approach this with her?
Well, she's going to look for, that's a good question. She's going to look for credit. She's going to want to check your credit. She's going to want to check your income. And she's just checking these things. If you want to buy a 4-unit building, she's going to want to know the potential financials of the property. What the property is worth, what you're buying it for, the rental income that's coming in. Like, she's going to want to know all those things. Now, some of those things they'll be able to get on their own. And she's going to want to know your past performance. Do you have any experience? Now, none of those things are deal breakers, but maybe for the first time, well, if it's a 4-unit building, yeah, none of those are deal breakers, but they will ask those questions. Now, if it's above 4 units, because 4 units is really considered residential, but above 4 units, they will look at past performance, things like that.
Should I start? I'm
Huh?
sorry. Should I start with a 4-unit building because I've never done this before? Or should I just, because she's like really wanting to help. So should I go bigger or start there?
I mean, I think if it's your desire to buy a 4-unit building, you should. I would say, though, that as much as she's trying to help you, I think that you do need, like, I would recommend some coaching, mentorship. It's great that you're here tonight. Continue to come here and other places, other meetups, other REIA groups, that kind of thing. Learn. I can never remember this book, but there's a book. There's books that you can read, and I'm trying to remember the best book for multifamily. But if you take down my information, I'll send it to you. I'm looking at my bookshelf. It's a book. Anyway, I'll remember it.
Okay.
So you want to look at videos, but I think if it's your desire to buy a 4-unit, I think it's a great goal, but I do think that you need your hand held.
I agree. I agree. Okay. I will reach out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, you can reach out to me. I think the last slide will have my scheduler on it, but it's GB schedule, my initial GB schedule. All right, any other questions, comments, you guys? Anybody else want to buy a 4-unit building? See, Sean, you're on your own. You're the only one that wants to.
Absolutely.
All right, let's have systems. Like any other business, you guys, any other business, there's systems. There's CRMs. And just like real estate investing, there's CRMs. We have PropStream. Most of you guys have PropStream, RealFlow, Podio. I use Go High Level. You want to have systems in place to run your business more efficient. And I think that's part of the key to building. If you're doing onesie twosies here and there, don't need it. But to really build a true 6-figure, 7-figure business, you've got to run it efficiently. But not only that, at some point you may need to get hired help. You may need like virtual assistants. I talked to my virtual assistants today in the Philippines. I've got another virtual assistant in, I think, Pakistan. We communicated. So you may want to get that kind of help building a 6 or 7-figure business, but you get up to that. But for now, you know, like I tell my real estate agents, you don't have a business unless you have a CRM. I tell them that. On the real estate side, it's they use what's called KV Core. You don't have a business. You need a place that you can skip trace out of, that you can buy, get leads from, build lists, order postcards, a repair estimator. And so what I'm describing is like PropStream has all that. RealFlow has all those things. So ultimately, you want to get your business automated. You might even want to have a website at some point. Don't run out and get one now, but at some point, to show credibility, you're going to need a website. And so you want to have all these systems in place, but you build up to these systems. If you're just getting started, you don't really need these now. Let's focus on, your focus now needs to be on finding deals. That needs to, finding deals and getting your finances straight. That needs to be the focus. Now, once you start doing deals and have the money, now you can start spending money on growing your business, your CRM, and other things. Any questions here? All right, here's the biggest thing, you guys. Got to take action. Like, I can go on and on and on all night long on everything that you need to know to run an efficient real estate investment business. But you've got to focus on doing everything that you need to be doing, and then you need to take action. I feel like oftentimes we veer away from what we should be doing. Like, you guys need to be writing down, like almost on a daily basis, what you should be doing that day. Like, I journal. And so this book right here, I normally have a yellow pad, but I've worn so many out. So I journal, and then as I do the things, I cross them out. This is just my system, but it keeps me focused. And I'll write in here at night, in the morning, and then sometimes throughout the day, what I need to do, what's most important to build my business. What are the most important things? I write them down. Number one, to remember, but when I do write them down, it helps me remember. And I feel inadequate if I don't actually, if I'm not actually able to cross those things out. But it keeps me focused. There's a lot going on around us, you guys. And a lot of you guys are in different places in your career. Some of you guys have just started. Some of you guys have bought houses, have held houses, have flipped properties, have done a number of great things. So everybody's in a different place. And so, and then it's easy for some of you guys who are just kind of starting to hear about someone having some success and then run over here and try to do what they've been doing. And then you hear about somebody else having a level of success, and then you run over there and do those things. Everything works. Everything that I've talked about works. They've worked before I got here, after I'm gone. Focus on one thing that you know that you can be consistent with and be great at it. If you're a wholesaler, your focus should be merely on finding deals. That's what your focus should be on. Finding deals and then focus on getting your credit straight, because I don't necessarily want you to be a wholesaler for the rest of your life. I want you to take some of that money and buy and hold, which means you've got to work on saving your money and fixing your credit so that you can then buy and hold. But let's stay focused. We want to learn the industry, but let's just stay focused on that one thing, that one strategy, be it wholesaling, fixing and flipping, buying and holding. Any questions on any of the fundamentals, you guys? Any questions? All right, invest in yourself. I can't tell you how important that is. Most of you guys are doing that. You're doing a great job with that. Attend workshops, get coaching, masterminds, surround yourself with like-minded people. You guys will hear that for the rest of your life. But it's true.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with like-minded people. Primarily, though, people that know more than you. One thing that I've noticed, just kind of in general, is oftentimes we are surrounding ourselves with people and we are partnering with people. But what I've always tried to do, as an example, is partner with people that know way more than I do. I never ever want to be the smartest one in the group. I never ever want to do that, because I'm really pulling myself down, and then it's like I'm not growing. And so I want you guys to focus on that. Focus on really pairing yourself purposely with people that bring something to you, bring something, and then you make sure that you bring something to the table as well. And at the very least, be able to find deals. But if not, have cash. I mean, you know, in our coaching group, we've talked about all these things. Have cash, credit, be able to find deals. There's a lot of gold. There's a lot of gold in finding deals. A lot of gold. You know, when I first got started, I said, I'm gonna find deals. I'm 23 years old. I don't have a lot of money. I can probably only buy one house a year, and I did that. But if I find deals, people are going to want to partner with me, and that's what happened. And that's how I got started at such a young age. I wasn't wholesaling, I was partnering with people, because I felt like, anyway, I had the gold, I had the deals. And what most people do not do in this industry, or are not good at, is consistently finding deals. And so you've got to figure out, how can you consistently find deals and stay focused in on that. Stay focused in on that. And then if you do that, you've got people, you've got cash buyers, there's cash buyers here on the call that are going to want to partner with you. Or you've got cash buyers that you can wholesale deals to. Want to buy and hold. Now we have Sean, who wants a 4-unit building. You're muted, Sean, but there's some people in the group that will help you find a 4-unit building.
Oh, I said I want more than that, but I just thought that's a good place to start.
Okay, let's just get one, Sean. Let's just get started. How about that? All right. All right. Any questions, you guys? All right, taking action. So we do have a coaching program. If you guys are interested in our coaching program, you can go to BBC Platinum. If you want to have a one-on-one with me, GB schedule, talk about our coaching program, we now have with our coaching program, now we have a payment plan. We have a better payment plan through through Karma and Affirm. We have that now. So if you want to make smaller payments, you can do that. And then, like I said, if you want to schedule a one-on-one with me, just go to GB schedule. Oh, I got it on here twice. Look at that. And that's it, you guys. That's it. Most of you guys know how to get a hold of me. Any questions, comments, concerns, takeaways? Anybody?
Yeah, Greg, we're a couple weeks away also from your next 4-day course as well. About 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat if you're interested in our free 4-day course. Most of you guys have been through it, but if not, it's some good training. You can click on a link I just put in the chat. Anybody else? Any comments, questions, takeaways? Anything you guys may be working on? You guys are quiet tonight. Are you guys quiet because you're excited that we have a new pope? Is that it? Is it the new pope? You
Oh, they
guys,
selected the Pope?
yeah, we got some white smoke today.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Must have been this afternoon.
we got some white smoke. And guess what? He's an American.
Oh, the American one.
Got an American pope. You know, if I had my vote, I was gonna elect Alex to be the pope. But I didn't get a vote.
We're a long way from that, but I appreciate your vote of confidence, Greg.
I know
Thank
all
you.
those other like Cardinals and stuff getting the vote. I'm like, how come I can't vote? I'm gonna vote for Alex.
I would have accepted it. Thank you so much.
Hey,
I was-
Alex, they treat those popes like a king. You get
You know what my first thought was when I saw the photo on USA Today with him dressed in the garb? My thought was, is he going to keep the Cooper or is he going to go back to the Mercedes? Because that's the first thing Pope Francis cut was the car. And then he moved
really?
to the, and then he would not take the Mercedes. It had to be a Cooper. And then he moved over to where the friars and the cardinals stay. He did not go into the palace. So he was, he wouldn't wear the red shoes. Like, he was
Very
incredible.
simple.
His humility was incredible. This guy flipped the script already. So we'll see.
We'll see. Your president wanted to be the pope.
I
Oh,
saw
my
that.
goodness.
He denied knowing anything about it. I'm like, really? On your page?
He conveniently forgets things.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. That I agree.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. The Platinum Coaching students will get an email tomorrow. We are going out in the field on Saturday. So we're gonna look at a few properties, those that can make it, gonna network and eat some food. We're gonna have luncheon and we're gonna do our thing. The rest of,
Hey, Greg,
yes,
I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, once this investors program concludes, will there be opportunities to still work within Bennett as far as finding cash buyers and so forth?
Yeah, I mentioned this past Tuesday that I was gonna discuss that with you guys this coming Tuesday.
Gotcha.
We can't let the civilians on here know all of our secrets.
Ah, slap my hand later.
I was trying to mute you, but I got to mute. All All right, you guys, good seeing you guys. Hopefully there's one little nugget that you guys were able to take away. For me, the biggest nugget is the marketing. Like we've got to find deals in different ways, not just focused on one way. And then getting our financing together over a period of time so we can get our money cheaper, so that we can make more money per deal. For me, those were sort of the two biggest takeaways that we don't talk enough about. All right, you guys, take care. God bless, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Greg.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.